Hi, welcome to this week's Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. I'm so excited. We've got a full house. I love it when we have a full house because I don't have to do hardly anything except just let the authors have free reign. It's my favorite part of Unplugged. And we actually even have one more release that we don't have represented this week. Tanya Wild has a Lion's Den release, which is Beauty and the Lion. So I'll make sure we pop the link to that in the comments. But let's dive right in. Eliana Piers had a release previous week, and it's the Duke's Goddess, and it's book 2 in the Duke Dare series. And I would love if you would take a few minutes and tell us about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here. And I'm stoked for book 2. I was super excited to see that it hit #1 in the charts and lasted there for a couple days. So I was just like overwhelmed by the reviews and the reception we got from readers. They loved Joan and James, and I loved writing Joan and James. Joan is the second sister in this book, in this series. And there's 4 sisters who are all named after different warriors in history. And she's named after Joan of Arc. And each chapter kind of starts with a quote from Joan of Arc. And the first chapter, yeah, the first chapter starts with the quote, "Sometimes the most courageous act is simply to be yourself in a world that wants you to be someone else." And I feel like, I feel like that captures Joan so much because she's always worried about everybody else and wants to help other people. And she puts herself last, which a lot of women can relate to, being moms or just like having that nurturing kind of spirit. And she gets caught in a scandal at some point in the story, and she learns to stand up for herself. And so she has the courage to like be herself, even though there's a lot of pressure from the world, from society to like conform into something else. So that's kind of her journey. And she takes that journey alongside James, who is a rake, who is the last man on earth she would ever want to fall in love with. In fact, the reason she ends up with him is because she's trying to ward him off one of her friends. So she's actually ends up playing matchmaker for her friends so that another couple gets together. And in doing that, James helps her, and then they get together. So it's a little kind of mixed up there, but a good love match. And all of that kind of goes in with this series, The Duke Dare. So James is the second guy in a group of 4 who all the guys have sort of dared each other to fall in love one way or another. And he obviously was like staunchly opposed to that and thinking that he would never fall in love. There'd be no way that he could ever possibly do that. And
it's not rakish.
Is it what?
It's not very rakish. It's, you know.
No, it's not conducive to being a rake at all. But then when he kind of gets together with Joan, they find that they're actually pretty good together. So that's sort of the story there. And I think I covered everything I wanted to say about them. Just that I love how these two like kind of opposite people end up together, both fully realizing who they are by the end of the story. So that's the Duke's Goddess in a nutshell.
I love a good opposites attract story, and I love when a heroine gets a really nice character arc. You know, when you get to watch her throughout the whole book become more of who she is, and you know, when the hero sees her for who she is. I love those. So
yeah,
this is Dragonblade Flame, is that right?
Yeah.
Great. So extra steam too to go with
that. Oh yeah, there's a balcony scene. So.
But nobody falls, right?
Nobody falls. Just in love.
Okay. Awesome. And there are 2 more books in the series?
Yeah, 2 more coming out.
Fantastic. So the next book that came out this week is Ruth's book, and it's A Dilemma for the Duke, and it's book 2 in the Barrington's Brigade. Barrington's Brigade. There were a lot of B's and R's there, all right in the same place. Can you tell us about this one, Ruth?
Sure. It's a tongue twister. So the Barrington Brigade is a story about Barrington, who is a duke and a commander in the army. And he has retired from service. And he has a group of men who reported to him who have also retired. And he lives in somewhere by the sea, which is a small town in the northwest of England on the coast. And there's no militia there. So when something happens, Barrington is usually called because he's one of these guys that just likes to get things done.
Mhm.
So he has put together a coin. It's a gold coin that he's given every man. And when they receive the coin, they know they are to report. It's like his calling card. And don't ask questions, just report to Summer by the Sea.
Show up.
Just show up. So that the log line for Barrington's brigade is from duty to devotion for their king, their country, and the woman that they love. So that's basically the story arc for the series. It's a series of 6 books. This is book 2, A Dilemma for the Duke. And it's a story about love, danger, and the courage to choose both. And because I am nervous, I'm going to read you the piece. A Dilemma for the Duke is a story about choosing love over legacy. My hero is a man bound by duty and expectation until he meets a woman who challenges him to want more. She's no passive debutante. She's clever, capable, and determined to live life on her own terms. But their journey isn't easy. There are secrets between them, danger surrounding them, and the greatest risk of all is learning to trust. Because in this story, love isn't the easiest choice, it's the bravest.
Oh, that's lovely. That last line,
Nice.
especially, is lovely.
Yeah.
So when I started this series, I wanted it to be somewhat of a mystery series as well.
Mhm.
And I developed something called, or an organization called, the Order of Shadows. And the Order of Shadows permeates all 6 books. So until at the end of the 6th book is when we find that Barrington has been able to quell, crush, whatever, the organization that has been going on for hundreds of years with the goal of taking over the government. Was that Katherine? Hi.
We got video bombed.
That was great. But anyway, so that's the story in a nutshell. They know each other from the past, but not very well. They all grew up in the same group of people. So I don't know what else to tell you. It's just a great
No,
story.
yeah, that's great. That's great. How many more are in the Barrington Brigade? How many more stories do we
So
have?
this is book 2, and there are 4 more.
Oh,
And
fun.
they come out like every 3 months.
Great. Great. We got a lot of time to get comfortable with the brigade.
I am having so much fun writing the stories. I can't tell you.
I loved hearing you talk about them before. So.
I really like to put twists in them and
Mhm.
start writing, and all of a sudden I say, oh, no, wait a minute. I have to go back and change because I've made something. So it's a lot of fun.
And it's connected to the ladies of the summer.
I'm glad you asked that. So my other story, my other series, The Ladies of Summer by the Sea, is a story of women who all went to the same finishing school, and they have this headmistress. And you can't apply for this school. You have to be invited. And she only takes women who have what I'm going to call strange for their time ability. We have one, the first book is a woman who's an author, which wasn't quite the thing in 1820. We have one who is a doctor. We have one who is basically she loves puzzles and becomes a code breaker. Another one is she does gears, and she picks locks. So we have this whole story, and Barrington happens to flow through all these stories because they all take place in Summer by the Sea. So I'm going to tell you a secret. For the Dukes All Summer Long, my book is A Tidal Affair, and it's how Barrington and Mrs. Bainbridge, the woman who's the
Oh,
mistress,
fun.
how they meet.
Fun.
I was so excited when I saw it. So my whole world for the last 5 years has been Summer by the Sea, the ladies, and now the men.
Well, that sounds great. And the Duke's All Summer Long is obviously coming out in the summer.
In
It's
June. It comes out in June. It's currently on pre-order.
awesome. Awesome. So the next book that comes out this week is Margot Thorne's book, and we'll catch up with Margot at a future time. But it is The Lucky Catch, and it's book 3 in the Cricket Club. And the Cricket Club is ladies cricket. Like, I just love the idea of ladies cricket. I'm never going to watch cricket because it is the most boring thing ever. And it takes days and days. Well, I mean, for me it is. I'm sure in general. But it takes days and days and days and days. But I love the idea of a ladies cricket club. So I'll make sure I pop the link for that one in the comments with everybody else's link so you can grab that one, and the covers for that entire series are gorgeous. So awesome. And then I already mentioned the Lion's Den book, Beauty and a Lion. That's Tanya's book. And I'll do the same thing with the comment, and everybody knows what the Lion's Den books are. So, but the book that comes out after that is Allison's book, and it is The Lady's Great Escape. So I can't wait to hear how the lady escapes. And it's book 2 in Safely in Scotland?
Yes, it is book 2. I think we're all book 2, at least the other 2. Yeah. So yeah, book 2. So this is the second friend. The first friend, their series is they're a group of friends who went to school in Scotland as kids and grew up together, and they're still friends now. So this book starts with Thea Rockledge. She's an author as well. She writes as a man, Theodore Stonecliffe. So Rockledge and Stonecliffe kind of tie in. And her brother has kind of run them completely out of money. He owes all this money to gambling dens and things. And she had taken all of her money from her books previously to get him out of debt before. So now she has no money again, and he's run up a debt again. So she is overhearing the conversation with her brother and his friend, who has already stripped the house of anything of value. And they decide that maybe they should run to Scotland like they did before and stay at Seamus, the hero of the story, Seamus's house. He's an earl, and hide out there until nobody's looking for them again. But she hears her brother say that he's not going to Scotland, to his home in Scotland. And so they decide the only thing that's left in the house of value is her. So to get away from this possibility of being given as payment of a debt, she runs off, and she doesn't know quite where to go, but she had heard that she is not going to be at his castle. So Scotland sounds like a good place to go. So she goes there. She tells a convincing story to the staff that she's supposed to stay in the dower cottage of a guest, and that Seamus knows all about this. And of course, Seamus shows up and doesn't know anything about her or where she came from and plans to kick her out of his house. But whenever he gets there, he sees all of her writing all over the room and picks up that she is indeed Theodore Stonecliffe, who's his favorite author. So he agrees to let her stay if she will let him read her book as she's writing it. So that's their deal. He has a lot of other secrets as well, but I won't spoil those for you.
Secrets are great. We love secrets.
Yes. So that's kind of how they meet. Again, Scotland is the safe place that someone ends up. So.
Very cool. How many more books do we get in the series?
Just one. The Ladies' Sweet Revenge comes out in July.
Oh, great. That's not that long to wait then.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So the next book that came out this week is Ella's book, and it's The Crystal Alchemist, and it's book 2 in the Silver Order. And I love This is Moonrise. So this is like a little bit of historical fantasy, a little bit of extra magic-y stuff in it. Can you tell us about this one, Ella?
Yeah, so it's I would consider it gothic romance for sure too. It's with a lot of, that supernatural elements. It has, like crystal magic, psychic visions, magical elixirs, and of course alchemy. But it's very it's very atmospheric, which is what you would expect from a gothic novel, because it takes place at an ancient manor in winter. So the heroine, she inherits a manor from her father, her strange father, when he dies, and she's eager to sell it because she knows all these strange occult activities take place there. And it's one of the reasons why she ran away from the house as a child. And these two men begin fighting over it because it's connected to the Silver Order, which is the secret society that's in all 3 books in the series. And so then the heroine, she gets snowed in with one of the 2 men who are trying to buy the estate. And it turns out that he's one of the upcoming leaders of the Silver Order, who is, he's determined to win back his ancestral home at any cost. And Hazel kind of becomes like a distraction. And he also forces Hazel to confront the things that she never believed or that she refused to believe about the Silver Order. But the more that she discovers, the more she's kind of pulled into the darker side of the Silver Order. And it gets harder and harder for her to, I guess, escape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, like I said, it's, there's, it's a gothic romance. It's very atmospheric. It's kind of got some steampunk vibes because there is this secret laboratory. It's got a slow burn romance. And it's, like my first book, it's also enemies to lovers.
I love a good enemies to lovers. That's one of my favorites, when you can't see how they could possibly like each other by the end of the book, and then they have to, because we write romance. So awesome. And I know that I know the next one's the Emerald
Enchantress. Yeah,
Enchantress is up on pre-order, because I just got that one the other day, and the cover is gorgeous. The cover's
yeah. And that one takes place in the Philippines, so
cool.
That's exciting. You don't always see a historical romance in the Philippines, and it also features the crystal magic. So
awesome. And how many more are there in the series?
It's just 3, so that's it. But I haven't ruled out writing more about the Silver Order, just because I love the whole secret society and the supernatural elements, and I feel like there's so much you could do with that, and even during different time periods. So
yeah, well, and having the construct of the Silver Order go the whole way through, you're right, there's
yeah, and I would say there's not really an overarching plot when it comes to the Silver Order. It's more like you learn more about the secret society as you go on, and you learn more of like its past and their secrets. And it's kind of like I was thinking the other day, it's kind of like The Red Violin. I don't know if anyone's seen that movie, where it's like different. There's like the Red Violin is in different stories throughout time. Yeah. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Or like Supernatural's Men of Letters.
I'm not aware of that one, but yeah.
Cool. Well, the last book that came out this week is Katherine's book, and it is Rules of a Wicked Wager. So I need to know what the rules are, and then I also need to know what the Wicked Wager is. And it's book 3 in the Rogue's Gambit series. Is that right?
That is correct.
Awesome.
And the hero and heroine have a past.
Oh, yay. Second chance.
From a casual comment from the hero, 5 years before, he labeled her wayward. So she became known as the Wayward Welsh. And so immediately she is labeled wild. So she locks everything down. She spends the next 5 years, she can't even wear colors. She's, solid beige.
No.
And but after 5 years of doing everything right, She managed to do a little bit of pattern on one of her dresses and only one person commented. So she's finally starting to come out of her shell when he comes back from making his fortune. And it renews everything even more so. They ended up meeting in Hyde Park in the opening scene, and he ends up making a wager with her that she can teach a parrot a new word before he can. And she's so angry. She's like, I can do that. And she's just so angry at him to come back and renew all of the words that she's a wayward woman. Just when she was finally able to, like, you know, wear a color other than and so if she wins the bet, he's going to have to get down on one knee before her and apologize and stay there until she forgives him, which is going to be never.
I was going to say, she needs knees for knee pads and pillows and cushions and all kinds of stuff.
Yep. Then she starts to talk to him because they have to, because they each have their own time with the parrot, but there's some overlap there. And then he might bribe a butler or something to get a little extra time with the heroine, not the parrot.
So wait, I gotta find out before we go any further. Where does the parrot come? Where'd the parrot come from?
Well, the parrot's introduced in the opening scene. She is helping take the parrot because every young lady who really needs help on the marriage mart walks this lady's parrot in Hyde Park. It's just one of the things that has happened. So on the day, she is walking the parrot this is her day because she's wearing a color, not just beige. And the parrot knows the hero and immediately starts squawking, winner, winner, winner. And she's pissed.
Understandably, the parrot ratted her out.
Yes. And so this is a bet that keeps spiraling tighter and tighter until a big dramatic conclusion. So it's each of the books in the series was me working with humor and seeing how I can take one little thing and keep spiraling it funny.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to imagine having a parrot and not having it be funny because, just are naturally that way. So
Without a pirate.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
That's it.
Well, she might accuse him of being a pirate every now and then. He was not. But it's a really fun book. I'm really proud of this whole series because, like I said, every book in this series was me really working with humor. And humor is a touchy thing because, a lot of times what I think is funny, maybe nobody else in the world does. But so far, so good. It's at least, these books have hit the right note. At least, I think they're funny. So
it's different too, writing, because, it's like if you're talking to somebody, you can gauge their response immediately and you can kind of adjust as you're going through. But when you're writing, you have to put it all out there and then you just have to wait and hope that.
Yes. And the waiting is the hardest part.
The same way. So, awesome. How many more books in the series?
At the moment, they're just these 3, but I mean, there's lots of room to expand. But again, if my sense of humor doesn't hit anyone else, we will spin off in another direction. But, so far, so good.
Well, everybody's gotten an animal so far, haven't they? There was a turkey and a boar, and now we have a parrot.
A turkey and a pig, and now a parrot. Yep.
Yeah, so there are lots more animals we could work our way through. We haven't even gotten to the real exotic ones yet. A porcupine would be fun. That has all kinds of fun potential.
Oh, thought about that, but yeah, actually, hedgehogs were actually pretty popular pets too.
I would love a hedgehog. That would be fantastic with their teeny tiny little feet.
I will put that on my list. Everybody go and buy these books. And then I will tell Katherine that, everyone loves them so much, I now have to do a hedgehog.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you can't teach them to talk because like that part won't work. So.
Well,
So
yeah, I did that with the parrot. So the hedgehog will have to, I don't know, curl up and play dead.
Well, as previously stated, I love a good enemies to lovers, especially when it like messes with her identity, and who she perceives herself to be, and now she's starting to come back, and then he comes back for real, and I was like, oh man, would never get off his knees. He would be there forever.
And by the end, she does manage to wear more than they.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So, awesome. Well, ladies, we have a little bit of time left, and I'm not sure. I thought maybe we could talk for just a couple minutes because the whole Dragonblade team. So if you're looking for us, it's going to be hard to find us. Is going to the LA Festival of Books. I'm so excited.
Yay!
I'm excited.
Which is
like
why Catherine did her drive by here.
Yeah, the bomb because she got to the West Coast early. But Ruth and I are both leaving tomorrow, so we're East Coast people heading that way. So we get the time zone change and the lovely cool weather because Virginia is like shorts and steam right now. So I am looking forward to the 70s and weather. And I'm so anxious to connect readers with the Dragonblade books because we've got such great books on offer and lots of great swag. So if you're in the area, if you're anywhere close to Los Angeles at all, come find us. We would love to see you. We will fill your hands with stickers and books and you'll get a chance to meet some of your favorite authors. And it will be a great time. I'm very excited about it.
And I'll be here or there.
And Katherine will be there, and Ruth will be there, and Alexa Aston is coming. Deb Barlow is coming. We're gonna have a full house. It's gonna be great. So, and then
and there will be books that with authors who aren't there too. So
Chastity Bolin is coming as well. I'm trying to run through in my head really quickly. I know I'm forgetting everybody, but that. And then next month will be a book lovers con. So. If you're out the Vegas way, we're West Coast concentrated right now, but if you're out the Vegas way, you want to catch us in May. And we'll have lots of good things to share with you then too. So ladies, it was a treat to talk to you today. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I love this part of the week when I get to hear about all your stories. I love watching you light up when you talk about your books. I think it's so cool to get to see authors that are passionate about their books. So I will make sure I put the links to all the books, including those of the authors that we didn't get to talk to, in the comments, so you can grab them. And I'm going to do my used car salesman pitch, which is that Dragonblade books, because it's true, are the best deal on pre-order and release. You want to grab them then. If you don't grab them then, you can grab them in Kindle Unlimited. I know when things get a little tight, that books are one of the first things that it's kind of hard to spend a little extra scratch on. But with your Kindle Unlimited membership, you can read our entire catalog without having to pause. You don't even have to think about it. So no barrier to entry, baby. Ladies, thanks again for taking the time to talk to us. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.